Thanks, Reek. I'm Azale here with the Honda Scouting Report, and I'm going to be focusing on top laners. There is a pretty diverse cast of players here at the event. Guys with LCS experience like Zig. We have guys coming in more from solo queue and Face It, such as BMD, as well as Misty Stumpy and PCL. So it is a pretty diverse cast, and they did have a pretty diverse range of strengths, right? We have guys like Zig who have a tremendous amount of LCS experience, and I think that really did show when he was playing signature champions such as Jace. I think especially in the early days, you could tell how much better he was working with his team and how he was really able to execute on leads and create big advantages while he was kind of in that comfort zone. Two players that did stand out a lot to me, though, were PCL as well as Misty Stumpy. These guys, I think, are kind of newer to the scene. Misty Stumpy had some really dominant lane phases. He is, on average, kind of crushing it in that lane phase, always ahead in CS, creating very, very big gold differentials. And PCL, the thing for me that really stood out was how well he was actually working with his team. His communication was very, very good. His coordination with the rest of the squad, which is so important for competitive play, was on point. And he was playing things along the lines of Rumble, which is so team fight reliant, coordinating those very well and executing to a high level. BMD had some ups, had some downs, very impressive Darius games, and he is a well-known Darius player, but it has been a bit more hot or cold for him. For me, that's going to be it. So back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks very much, Azale. Welcome back to 2019 Honda Scouting Grounds. Now, before we jump back into the series, I want to spotlight one of the players on the other squad who sadly didn't win. Evolved the mid lane. A lot of eyes were on him coming in. A lot of eyes still on him now. How'd it look?
He looks great.
Great.
He looks like a great player. One thing I was noticed, some players were now playing well after, especially getting not early good, they got killed level 3 in the middle. But if you look at his dragon fights right now, Evolve actually played pretty well. He was in the pit. He's now very rushed to do something. He was be patient, doing a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure eventually he got a triple kill on this fight, and he even survived on a 5-by flash shot a pick. Eventually, well, I think played really well this game.
Yeah, and that's like you're saying, starting with that horrible misplay that kind of happened with the river and that got him killed. So he bounced back and did pretty well. Like you said, good flash out there at the last possible second. And then this was a game where Team Ocean lost pretty hard. And so the fact that he was able to find a lot of good pickoffs in the side lane, they caught PCL out a number of times. That all looked really good. And he's someone that a lot of people had their eye on coming into the event. He's cat evolved on the main server, but he's not really a one-trick like some people kind of are when you hear the character name and their actual username. He actually can play a fair amount of different things, so it's good to see him on Rise.
Yeah, he also has previous experience on Team Radiance.
Yep.
He played really well. I think he was won a couple of the tournaments before he come to here. I worked with him a couple of times in the scouting grounds and talked to him about what he feel about the difference between here and on his Radiance team, because he still has some very experienced players on the Radiance working with him. He has a good communication, a good sense about how the game is supposed to be played. Well, unfortunately, I think Katarina is one of his famous champions.
Yeah.
It's just not a meta right now, so he can't really bring it up. But he told me he's still willing to try it if he got a chance. I'm pretty sure they still tried it and maybe just not work well.
I would love to see one cat game, though, on stage today. You know, just get on red side, save it for last pick. Don't kind of pick for top lane, kind of pick for mid. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. I kind of hope he doesn't do it, just because we know you have a great cat.
But I want to see it though.
Show us something. Go watch streams. He's always in people's streams.
I know.
Yeah. That's actually where I see him the most. Is I'll be watching Skara, I'll be watching TF Blade, I'll be watching a lot of high elo players, and he's always in their streams and always doing really well.
Skara and high elo in the same sentence. I like it. All right, want to get us back into the action? Headed back over to the casters. Take it away.
Wow, what a burn. Thank you, Freak.
The TFT streamer.
All right, we're going to get ourselves into jam select for game number 2. Mountain over on the blue side this go-round. We're going to sweep the series like they've done in many best-of-3s this event so far. First band's going to be Heimerdinger, which not too surprising. Did spy Tomo playing that one a few times this week. And Pantheon continues his attention on Phase 1 red side bans as Gragas will be the follow-up for Mountain.
Yeah, really interested to see what Ocean does with their last pick. You can give that counter to maybe Evolved, and that's where the Katarina could come out, but that's obviously not a good pick here. I think that just being able to have that answer in the mid lane is going to free him up to do so much if that is your best player. And on the flip side, PCL consistently gets counter pick on red side. What does he play if he were to blind it?
We'll find out. Zaya and Kiana added to the bans here in Phase 1. And Mountain clearly respecting the power of the pick since winning with it in the last game. And last ban Lee Sin, so 2 junglers banned out here. Lots of solo lane stuff left open, but it seems like both teams trying to stop the other early game junglers from really kicking off, as Julian gonna fall back to blind pick Syndra.
And that's the kind of champion that you just don't really want to counter pick later on. So I think that Evolved is just going to try to get whatever he can as quickly as possible and maybe take a rise in the next rotation. Already, though, the Nautilus Olaf showing that they are picking answers to the Syndra. Press R, go straight after her, and there's not a whole lot she can do about it.
I kind of like what's happened here because we've seen Syndra a lot into Ryze, so I think some players maybe consider that you block Ryze a little in draft when you pick Syndra, but Olaf definitely blocks Elise, which we've seen already, and that's... So I think if that was Fnatic's like next obvious champion to go to, maybe reconsiders going and maybe just picks it anyway because he feels confident in the matchup or just on his abilities with the champion. That being said, it will be Lucian here again for Vex. Can't really blame him given the success he saw.
Yeah, and they're going with that early game approach here, and Jarvan's a sick pick here
Olaf.
because, yeah, you can always catch the Olaf out and just get out of the Cataclysm. You don't have to stay in there with him, which does make it pretty easy to make that late or mid-game play. However, I think a Ryze would also be good here. You can take the Ryze into Syndra matchup, and you can always use that Realm Warp to get the Nautilus and Olaf directly behind the Syndra and really cause a lot of mayhem. Instead, they're going to secure in that mid lane and try to experiment with their solo lanes a little bit later.
Yeah, I think Tomo maybe just calling for a pick here, wanting to something a little bit safer against Solution, given how aggressive Vex and Shady were willing to be in the last game. But that is going to mean both BMD and Evolved will lose some potential picks here. So kind of curious to see how the second phase of this draft shakes out. Leona picking away from Shady, so continuing to pick on his champions.
And it's a great answer into the Nautilus, the Leona. I love that pick in particular. And she's so tanky that Olaf actually struggles taking her down, even though you do so much damage to her. And this also tells us that it is not going to be the Doinb mid Nautilus special, even though it can be flex, but the bans give it away.
Yeah, there's a Kali ban by Mountain. Don't want to give that one over. Kind of get the feeling that Ryze is maybe off the table for Evolve, wanting to show something else, but you do never know. It's a very good champion. I think even in the last game, it was one of the first losses I've seen Ryze suffer this week, and even when Ryze has lost, he's looked pretty overwhelming in strength. Is Camille going to get banned away from PCL? There's Darius banned away as well.
Yeah, I love the evolution of Ryze where players are getting so creative with the Realm Warp more than anything, either using it to reposition in a fight, to get really into the side lanes or crash minion waves. I think they saw what some of the best players at Worlds were doing and really took that to heart and are now applying it across all levels of Ryze play.
Well, it looks like they may be taking mid lane here. They knew the matchup. Didn't really get any bans, so that is LeBlanc there for Evolve.
That is a tricky champion to pull off here because you don't have a diving partner. It's not like a LeBlanc Lee Sin where you can come out of nowhere. The Olaf really needs the LeBlanc to do the setup all by herself, and that puts too much pressure, I'd say, on the individual player versus the synergy that the champions can have if it were another jungler.
Well, it doesn't look like it's been a LeBlanc season this week, at least in top 5 solo queue or scouting grounds for Evolve, but I'm sure more than capable on an assassin-style champion. There is the Rumble we also were expecting on the Mountain side. Pike World happy to take that. Camille off the table, as once again, Braum for Shady. Sorry, Braum for Shady this time, had the Leona last game, but wants to take the Braum away from Chime. We got there. And final pick, oh, please do it. If there's ever a time to play Bard, Chime, it's not now, apparently, because they already have Nautilus.
So maybe Nautilus is going to go in the side lane? Probably not.
Yeah, I did forget about that. I do like that he flashes it, and there is Riven for BMD.
Wow.
Something he has played already this week.
I mean, it's pretty good into Riven, sorry, Rumble. So the counter pick being used effectively from Team Ocean there, but even then, Team Ocean does not have nearly as strong a team fight and early game as Team Mountain. That fight around Dragon that we saw in that first game, where it was a 10-man play there, is going to go to Team Mountain every single time when you have the combo of Jarvan, Rumble, and the Syndra that can throw in her orbs into that Cataclysm. So they're looking for those early game spikes and hopefully to try to get Vex really far ahead because they're going to have pressure in the bottom lane as well. So a lot of emphasis is going to fall on Fnatic here to get his team ahead and then snowball the game like we saw in game 1.
Well, we'll see if Mountain can in fact do that again, or if Ocean have different plans this go round. As coaches will move off stage, shake hands once again, as Mountain look to sweep the series and kind of end the game portion of the tournament finally. There's been a lot of games played this week, tons of best of threes between all these teams. We could have the last game here, as Mountain look to sweep once more.
Well, I think a focal point for Ocean is going to have to be the top lane this time around. So switching things up. You don't have power in the bottom lane, but you know that you saved your counter pick for the Riven. It has to pay off here.
That's true. PCL kind of really ran away with the game in the side lane, getting the first tower goal, being the first to level 18. Hitting stuff as Kale certainly did seem like a big nuisance for Ocean to have to deal with. We'll see if the Rumble for Pancake Lord is a similar story here. Certainly a different style of champion than the Camille or the Kale, but one that he is extremely competent on as well.
And you know, a trait that the coaches really prioritize is not so much whether the players are consistent in their games, but how high are their highs. They really want to see how good are these players at the moment, and from there they can base off and decide, okay, if we just tune these things, we can make sure that you run it down a little bit less. And I think that's the evolution that we're having in League right now, where you let your players shine in their own style, and you don't try to impose your own team play into them. You just try to mold them to be a little less risky.
Well, before we get any further, Riv is standing by with Kelsey from Mountain with a sideline report.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I am joined by Kelsey Moser. Looking at coming into this weekend at Scouting Grounds, I wanted to get a little bit of insight onto why we see Mountain working together so well. We know these guys have great skill, but what makes this a team?
I think the communication is pretty on point. Obviously, a few of them have worked together before in previous teams, so that's really easy for them to draw on. I also think it's just there was a really straightforward way to play, basically from the get-go, and they immediately gravitated towards it and just worked on perfecting it over and over again.
Awesome. And how are you feeling about that top lane matchup? Riven going up against Pancake Lord on Rumble. He's been doing quite well.
We knew there was definitely a possibility for them to come out with the Riven pick, but we're definitely looking for more of a push-out lane effect mid through flanks kind of strategy this game. So obviously they can do well if their side lanes get ahead, but we're hoping that we can close out pretty efficiently the way that this team has been doing most of the week.
Awesome. Kelsey, thank you so much. Let's throw it back to the casters.
I do really like the idea of like almost making PCL play a different style, right? Like you now have to help everybody else. Last game, everybody else came to help you.
And that's how pro games are. You can't be the carry every single game. The meta will shift or you're going to get banned out. So I think that this is really interesting to see. And he's already having a pretty nice time up here in the lane. But the way that it's going to be affected is not directly when Riven versus Rumble is there, but when LeBlanc gets to roam from mid lane, because that's a really big power spike for Riven if she can have LeBlanc to just constantly enter Fog of War and force him to respect the roam.
Looking for probably a lot of activity for either of these mid laners here. Julian right now feeling pretty comfy in his 1v1. Getting that lane pushing out is very well known on his control mages, Syndra being no exception. 5 CS up ahead, although it's going to be about even if Evolve can nab most of the CS under the turret at the moment. Tomo and Chime, though, also getting pushed in, so Vex and Shady immediately leaving to get a bit of vision, as Shady will now get the information about the blue. In fact, gets bonus info. Look for the Grump as well. Oh, I guess the plant didn't spot Nomad. So Vex going to get the ward down. They do spot him now, but again, not going to move in to take it. Not really much point as Evolve gets the proc down. Ignite is there, not going to go in. Forces the cleanse, though. Maybe now it's got it. Ignite auto, that might just be enough to kill Julian. It's going to be awfully close, and it is. Evolve with the calculation for first blood.
Ooh, getting that solo kill is such a big play out of him, and he didn't have to commit his flash. That's going to be a really easy place to come back to, get a distortion chain in, and continue to snowball. And that's not what you wanted to see when you first picked the Syndra.
Went as well, pretty much. So calculated down to the last little bit of mana. So we'll watch this one again.
So I think he barely mistimed his scatter of the week, because you're supposed to use it as a second LeBlanc uses distortion to stop the damage, but the damage came through anyways.
And potentially not a flash order could have happened, but I think Evolve knowing he didn't need it, or at least not bothering to use the summoner either way, because he knew Julian will be forced out, but gets maximum punish there from that missed skill shot.
And now the matchup gets really tricky. I love this itemization from him, knowing that against Syndra, you just need to go that early Merc Treads. He has it now and will have Cryo in this lane for quite some time.
All right, we'll see if that changes the texture of this early game. If Evolve can assert a bit more dominance and get out to maybe help something like the top lane or the bot lane as Shady and Vex continue to play aggressive here. Vex getting that stun, going to try and block. Toma almost dead though. Ignite is down, they're gonna look for it here. Good hook there. The Riptide almost enough. Chime forced to watch out, but that's Toma with the snipe on the Shady.
They're getting so aggressive, but they underestimated the range of the turret shots. Took a little bit too many, and now Ocean is gonna be having a great time in this lane as the first kill goes to the Ezreal.
Yep, Toma just gonna get these last few minions, and I think they're gonna look to back off here. Are gonna recall together. Vex just forced to last hit these last few minions, but let's watch this again.
So the Nautilus used his shield right away, and that's the opportunity that Shady saw. The shield is down, they can do it, but then the hook, I believe, is what ends up getting them into the turret range, or he just walks up. Yep. Hook for the turret shot. Classic hook champion.
Burns a flash too for Tomo to make it in range for that Q. I mean, certainly a greedy play, but one that pays off. Shady once again a little too close to the turret range, and try and make sure he gets punished there as Tomo is able to finish it off. So 2 kills up for Ocean early. That's not what was happening in the last game. As Evolve does miss that chain onto Julian. He's level 6 right now. Julian has to be close, but isn't quite there with the ulti. So LeBlanc can be a bit more threatening as that Ignite is ticking back off cooldown. Frosty Nomad makes his way down here to the bottom side just to threaten maybe a dive in the works. The Fanatics here as well.
Trying to crash the wave here, but they have to respect that Fnatic is in the area, but even then, Mountain cannot engage with such a strong minion wave.
Yeah, huge wave built up. I think they were looking for a potential dive. Evolve, though, going to get roamed on by PCL. Equalizer committed. Evolve will walk away and burn a potion charge.
Take some CS casually.
But this is kind of what Kelsey was alluding to, you know, get out, maybe help the lanes after pushing out from the top side. So even though the gank doesn't really get much done in the mid lane, PCL is at least listening to coach's instructions there.
Yeah, and maybe we can see him develop multiple styles over the course of a tournament, which would be pretty impressive for a player to go so quickly from a specific set of champions to just a very wide range of skills so quickly.
Definitely nice to see as 2v2 action is continuing to feel quite tense here. Junglers continuing to part down, pay attention. Both mid laners able to push out and try and at least feign attention towards that side of the map. There is a timer here for this Drake, though, I believe, as Ocean do start things up and should be able to get it with the resets coming through in mid lane here. And there it is, the first Drake over this time. It's to Ocean.
That's that Olaf power, but we haven't seen anything from the Jarvan yet, which is a little odd. That's a champion you would want to see be a lot more active on the map than the farming jungler.
Comes Frosty again. It's kind of the Olaf classic. Just roam into the lane, throw an axe, be like, I'm helping you push, don't worry about it. And just make sure you stay in XP range for 1 or 2 creeps.
Right, you just check your XP bar. I'm like, am I leveling up? Oh, yeah, that's fine.
The enemy jungle's like, why is he 6 already? Although Fnatic's actually 6. He's been farming quite a lot, as you noted. Hasn't been nearly as present on the map as before. Good stun from Julian. Ulti not going to be burnt. Julian, I think, knows that it's not enough yet and doesn't land the next Dark Sphere to potentially go for an all-in. Bottom side, though, again, Vex in. Shime stunned. TP down. Here's Ocean looking to make a play. TP match, though. Here's Tomo. Gets a good crucial barrage. BMD going to be forced out as PCL basically insta-ports down the bot with him.
I like the choice to immediately back off there from the Riven instead of just trying to trade a 1-for-1 and try to get anybody down. It just says, you know what? This play is lost. We can just crash the wave and return to normality.
Yep, they fend off the potential kills. They make sure the turret plates stay healthy. More than worth the TP trade there, I think, for BMD. Excellent response time there in the bot lane to make sure nothing went awry. Evolve, though, looking again, gets the chain this time. Ooh, good pushback by Scatter the Weak. Means it cannot latch for the potential CC chain. And PCL again here with the equalizer, maybe going to try and bait this LeBlanc in.
Uh-oh. That's a mistake right there. Fnatic did not spot that control ward. That is going to give away that Mountain might be going for some sort of vision play in the top side to maybe go for a 10-minute swap for that Rift Herald.
Hope they're calling that Shady's missing, though, because we know he's left side of mid on top of a control ward. That does give Tomo and Shime time to knock down the turret here, but Vex doesn't seem like he's in too much trouble. It looks like Chime with that Cloud Drake going to go zipping in towards the river. Or just recall. It's actually just Tomo going back.
Once again, 2 members walk past the control ward and nobody kills it, and now they wonder why this invade is maybe not going to work, but it does.
Ragnarok Pop's gonna have to flash out, gets over the wall, but here's PCL, that's a kill. Really nice job there. Actually, the equalizer that finishes it off.
I mean, that's just weird, because the ward, he placed the ward to see the gank happening, but then does not respect that the roam happens. Tried to sneak the buff and walks to the opposite
80
side.
nails it. There's Tomo gonna get CC down. Trujo barrages out, but not enough. Here's Chime, they're gonna try and answer for a kill, but he doesn't even have his ulti yet. CC Shady, they're just gonna walk out. Just don't draw aggro. The hook lands, the ignite's down, but still the tower doesn't shoot. Here's Evolve. He needs to try and make these kills convert. Vex, I think, knows he's dead, does die, and now Evolve will be able to pick this up as well. Pretty easy pick there onto Shady. At least the kills get traded.
Ooh, that's really good for the LeBlanc, now getting 2 kills on the map, starting to roam around, and this is the danger that the LeBlanc brings, because she can start affecting the side lane so much faster than the immobile Syndra.
Staying aggressive though, Smite Battle perhaps with the Herald. I think it went to Nomad. They're going in. The Herald though, not the objective right now. Fnatic slain. Julian roaming in, but here's BMD. The scatter does land. PCO gets that first kill on the Frosty Nomad. Here is the chase though, in onto Julian. Tomo needs to get over the wall and help out Chime. Q lands. Hook is good from Chime as well. BMD gets the kill on top side, and looks like Ocean are going to open up the map. They get the next kill as well.
And this looks like a reverse of the first game, where the bottom lane from Ocean gets a lead, and now the Nautilus is just going everywhere in the map, turning things around. The Rift Herald is picked up by Team Mountain, though.
I was
So
mistaken.
they will get that objective, but it's still not worth it for them.
Nomad did not collect the last hit, so Julian was able to pick up the eye, but let's watch this again. Starting in the bot side is Tomo. This gets caught.
Great flash from Shady to predict the shift, but I wonder how this ended up drawing aggro from Vex, because I think his choice was, I'm gonna die anyways. Oh, he threw out of the blaze. Oh no, he auto. He knew that LeBlanc was coming, so he figured, I'm just gonna trade against Nautilus versus the LeBlanc. And that's a smart choice by him for sure.
Easy pick up there for Evolve, but then this happens. Frosty Nomad just fighting it out, can't make it to the eye. Julian wants to get it, gets the kill, and then this.
It's a really nice flash from BMD to dodge away from the Syndra stun, and he's playing the lane according to his items. You really just want to wait for cooldown reduction from Riven to be able to play as aggressive as the Rumble can, because he has that wave clear advantage and that shield.
Little max range Riven W there at the end of it. Ooh, Evolve, hello. Face checking some Dark Spheres. Julian trying to get this Rift Herald used, but Julian did also ulti. They won't have that cooldown for the next potential fight. Over the wall with the Rift Herald though. Evolve going to be forced to deal with this as the next Drake is up. It's a Cloud. Ocean though trying to respond quickly.
It's going to be a party in the Dragon Pit. 5-on-5 on mid.
Chime finds it, has the ulti, gets it onto PCL. Tomo forced to get out though. And now caught on the front side is Frosty Nomad. He's going to fight his way out. Doesn't quite get Fnatic. Chime now caught out. Oh, just barely hooked the edge of that wall. But Chime still getting chased down. BMD though dives onto Fnatic. Chime getting out, hooks onto the tower. Is not going to be safe as Julian able to pick it up, and Evolve launches back on, tries to get the kill. Here's the rest of Ocean now to reinforce. Evolved over the side, gets the flash distortion auto to nab that kill. The clone tanks the turret, and that's triple kill for BMD at the end of it all. And Ocean still looking strong.
And it's crazy how this fight ended up going this way when Team Mountain got a few kills to start things off. They did not respect that Riven was there in the brush waiting, and she just destroyed the backline.
BMD a completely different look here this game. 4-0-0. Has wow, just a third of the kills on War. As we watch how he made it happen, just diving into the backline here alongside Frosty Nomad.
And Ocean is completely disjointed because Syndra gets a nice scatter of the week here, and the Herald is already in the mid lane, so the fight is pretty clearly in Mountain's favor. But then when they come back here, they don't have vision and they don't escort the Jarvan and the Lucian, so BMD gets to do whatever he wants, and it is a disaster for Vex, who had a really strong Lucian game one, and now he's on the back foot.
That's a cheeky cue from Tomo as well. Was enough for the red buff to get a kill, but hold your horses. BMD forced away from the turret here as everybody looks like is collapsing. Evolve tagged by Winter's Bite, but Chime responding quicker. Double Cloud Drake helping him out.
And it looks like Ocean's not going to take this fight because the Olaf was catching the bottom wave.
Oh,
instead.
solo kill again. Evolve looking to make it happen. There's the unleashed power, but Evolve should have enough. Does indeed. Back he goes. Chain onto Shady. He's not done. He's done now. He's not done. Chime's here. True chop barrage in. Shady going to be the target. Here's the Ragnarok pop. Hook is good from Chime onto Fnatic. Holds into the back of Vex to zone him out of the way. That's going to be a second kill. Fnatic can't escape. The blue buff going to do him in. There's the flash auto from Tomo to make sure it happens.
And now we get to see just how good Team Ocean is going to be at snowballing this game. They have a crazy lead, and the fight keeps going.
Chime again. Finds the hook. Vex though. Oh, the tier 1's up. Chime, I think, maybe a little too aggressive on that play. We'll try to kill back to Vex.
They got a little bit overzealous there, thinking that the fight was always going to go in their favor, not respecting that PCL was still around with that equalizer that can clear the minion wave and engage on your champion right away.
You know, when you drop step sometimes you look awesome, you clear the gap, you're looking great. Sometimes you fall flat in your face, and that was just skipping too many steps there for Ocean.
Limits, just test and limit.
I mean, it's tested, but that one I think is, I think that one's been tested thoroughly. Maybe take the tier 1 before you look to dive.
That's the scientific approach. You just keep testing it again and see if it fails.
It failed, as Ocean unfortunately lose a kill and leave the outer tier 1 up for a little while longer, but still, the rest of this looked great.
And they needed to get out. There was no business contesting that Scuttle Crab once the Syndra had gone down. So, all in all, I like this choice here by the Nautilus. This is something I don't see a lot of players do, which is that you don't need to ulti the target immediately in front of you. You ult the one that's further behind because the depth charge will trigger every single champion along the way. Really, depth charges essentially Vi, an entire champion's kit has been given to Nautilus's one spell.
All right, well, Mountain still trying to find some trades here. Down about 4,000 gold. Shady and PCL looking to assault the bot turret. As Ocean roaming back towards, actually across the map here. We've got Evolved in top right now. Tomo looking mid, and BMD fancying a fight here, but it's a 1v3 that he doesn't know about yet.
Everyone is off the map, and his team is not applying pressure anywhere.
He knows. Good little poke forward there from BMD. Now mid lane, Chime again in onto the Syndra. This time Tomo going to try and collect it. Both carries trying to fight here. The calling onto Chime might be enough. Tomo doesn't quite land the rest of his skill shots here, but still Chime lives. And there he is in. Nails it there with the Arcane Shift in after that Q.
He's so strong right now. He's got that Trinity Force power spike that is the strongest mid-game item that the Ezreal can go. Not going with that Frozen Fist instead. It's going to make him a lot more mobile. And as long as they continue to play around him at this stage in the game, they're going to have priority in the mid lane.
Yeah, I see 3 carries and 3 pretty big bounties on their head. So Tomo, Evolved, and BMD all having a good game. But Evolved looking to dive in onto Vex, does not quite connect. Again, looking for the dive before the minion wave is there for the tower to be taken, but at least enough pressure this time and not an overcommit, so they'll be able to take the tower as well.
They're getting a nice little flash. Now they can punish him if they catch out the Lucian again. Minute 15 on Ocean Dragon. Let's see if the namesake team is prioritizing the objective.
Really, Double Clouds doing the work here. Chime has also been so much more active this game. We talked at length how good Shady looked in game 1, moving around on the Alistar. I think Chime has finally started to match those roams here, just affecting the map.
It's really good to see how the supports are being contrasted. When one is ahead, what do they do with the lead? And when one is behind, how do they bounce back into the game? And particularly when it comes to vision, where are they prioritizing the vision and the playmaking that they're going for?
Oh no,
Fight is breaking out.
It's gonna be a 4v4 in short order. Evolve gets PCL. Gonna get him down. Oh, good block by Braum, but still Evolve gets the kill. And now the rest of the fight is happening. Chime out of there with a flash BMD. We're gonna take down Vex. Evolve bounces back in with the distortion. Once you get the kill, latches the chain. We'll find it. There's the follow-up Nort ult, and they get one, but only one on the mountainside as Ocean find 4.
Team Mountain looking for a play, but not knowing where the rest of the team is at. And so Ocean collapses just way faster, and Ezreal is untouched. Both mid lane and bottom now have a 600+ bounty, which is just insane at this stage in the game.
The outer ring is fell. The gold lead looking at about 7,000 up for Ocean, looking eerily similar to the game state of the early game after game 1. They'll get the Ocean Drake as well, so at least they pick up their mascot on the way out. And Ocean poised to again do what you asked last game, Crumb. Have a good looking closeout.
Yes, Well, we got to see how Mountain looks in that regard, but I think Ocean's comp has better tools to play the side lane.
Well, team fight this go-round, Evolve just dipping through this fight. Shady did everything he could here.
They really needed the Syndra to be involved in this play because everybody was off the map, Syndra was not there, and had they just waited a little bit longer, she would have been able to contribute when it comes to those stuns. And you really just need that much more CC to take down the really fed members of Ocean, but they've itemized pretty effectively, actually. I really like that.
Oh, he finds Shady. That might be a kill. Chain Latches flash, not enough. Is going to get out, but Evolved and Frosty Nomad, I really like what they're doing. Sweeping through the jungle, just denying vision, and instantly going for these picks.
You get so much more value when you have a LeBlanc in the mid lane that can go sweeper as well. The vision denial becomes so dangerous, and there's no one that can really face check on the side of Mountain. Just face checking into a LeBlanc from multiple angles, or the Ezreal that can just jump you from nowhere is so dangerous.
Tomo has to be careful here. Knows that he can be surrounded. Oh, it's a solo kill again. Evolve goes godlike. Takes out Vex, and that's straight to Baron.
They have the vision, but Mountain knows.
Skip one little step. That left side ward always gets them, but still, I imagine they'll turn for the 5v4.
PCL can be very dangerous here. Cataclysm and Equalizer is a strong combo, even if you're behind.
Going again, BMD finds Fnatic. They're going to try and make sure the jungler can't make it into the pit. BMD going to find the solo kill. Doesn't get the wind slash, but I think still that's enough. Ocean looking for the kills. Evolve dives in. Looks for Shady, one to Julian. BMD finally finishes off Fnatic. Here's the True Shot Barrage's Tribe. Gonna commit his ult to try and get one more kill for the team. PCL flashes, not enough. Tomo in there. Dominating now on the Ezreal. Does take him down, and it looks like it may be back to Baron for Ocean.
They can go back to it, and there's nobody to really contest this. Lucian is not going to face check. Let's see where Evolve places himself, because he does not need to be in the pit. He needs to be looking for an angle on the side, and that's exactly what he's doing. This is great.
Takes out the control ward. They've got plenty of vision here. Evolve even checking over, just seeing if someone was maybe looking to stop this. Now going to zone them out. Shady is going to be spotted in short order. He wants Julian. Going to try and make a statement here. Evolve going to get too low. Pops into stasis. I don't think he can get out here. Flashes, ignited. Over the wall he goes, and looks like he's just barely going to escape. He's good. 54 HP is the first number I saw. That's not very many. Fnatic looking for it, but doesn't find one kill. Evolve going to get out.
Yeah, one more auto would have done him in.
Worth a lot of gold too, so it's actually important that he stayed alive. But between his splash and the Zhonya's, got greedy to try and solo kill the mid laner again, but doesn't get punished. This solo kill though was beautiful.
It was the play that started the entire Baron sequence. Knowing that they had the Lucian advantage, they could easily go back to it and force Team Mountain to face check them. So really getting a lot of value out of LeBlanc here by pressuring the side lanes and surprising enemies that just don't have vision of her.
And they're almost 10,000 gold ahead. They've got the Baron. They're looking to really just end this game and play a third here. We'll see how they look to close out. They're trying to maybe get the waves matched up here as BMD and Evolved are currently in the side lanes. Still a decent amount of sieging to do though here for Ocean as Tomo under fire from the culling, but not too worried about it.
And you see that Team Mountain is 5-manning the mid lane, looking for something because they are on a ticker. Riven, LeBlanc on the side lanes. No one on Team Mountain can actually match either of them, so they are going to bleed out in every single lane. And Ezreal is just so strong right now. He has flash.
Oh.
Cataclysm won't work.
Trying, what a good hook there. Fnatic goes in there with the Cataclysm plus the stopwatch, but Tomo just able to get the kill. Chime going to get chased by Vex, but I think that's too far forward. Hook lands in. Chime going to turn it around again. As Evolve getting low. Syndra ulti not enough to pick him off here, but BMD busy chasing Vex. He does get the stun, gets the kill onto Vex at the end of it. Little messy, but Ocean do come out ahead.
The quick collapse from Ocean, responding to Mountain's engage, and we're only losing one member. They're still going to have pressure in their lanes, and they might be able to get an inhibitor here if they get really greedy. They won't.
Gonna push for at least this mid inhibitor turret by the looks of things, but Evolve went back to base after having no health from earlier, so it looks like the inhib will not be on the menu just yet, but making a nice big space in mid for them to revisit.
The Ezreal is just so crazy powerful right now.
I mean, all three of these carries looking pretty strong. Deathless for Evolve, only 2 deaths between Ezreal and Riven right now. And again, as good as these scorelines look, as Ocean look to take this Infernal away, as silly as it looks sometimes when Chime dies, I feel like he's making the right play almost every single time.
He's just keeping his team alive. That's all you have to do in these stages. The utility you bring, you just have to press all your buttons, make sure they hit everybody, and pray that your carries are doing their job. You can't do everything as a Nautilus.
No, and again, just punishing each time Mountain want to make a play. Fnatic desperate to dive and kill this Ezreal, just insta-dies, even with the stopwatch thanks to the Nautilus. So Ocean playing well together, still so far ahead. That's 4 Drakes and almost 12,000 gold.
Jesus, that's almost a lead that you cannot surpass.
Especially at 25 minutes.
I'd say it is.
About as locked up as it sounds as Frosty Nomad stands his ground. Does die to PCL. BMD and Evolve back in the side lanes. Fnatic low but not dead. Tomo has to escape, forced to flash away. And Mountain finally 5-man for that pick. Oh! Nice snipers. Tomo goes legendary.
Really great angle there. They had no vision too, so that was completely guess.
Just figured where he was likely to go. Tomo able to find the 2-shot barrage. And Ocean will continue their assault. Evolve finishes off the tier 2 here in bot lane. Inhibitor's still kind of the thing they want. There's no Baron though. It will be back up in 2 minutes for them to take.
So Mountain has the right idea, but they need to get creative with the angles that they're looking for, because Fnatic keeps attacking from the same angle that Shady's at, and it makes it too easy for the Ezreal to disengage. You have to force Ezreal to be in a position where there is no good arcane shift. And look at it, right? All 5 members are attacking from the same angle. And yes, you can catch out the Olaf at this stage in the game, but he is not a valuable target.
Shady, at least they get the flash on the Ezreal, but really nice positioning here on this. Able to make it a 1-for-1 at least, as both junglers do fall. Evolve still up to no good here in the bot lane, just forcing someone to come and duel him, which of course can't really. Oh, Julian. Evolve's gonna get the chain, forces the cleanse, doesn't commit. Here's Shady. Evolve knows that he doesn't need to overcommit here, just constantly poking down whoever joins him in bot lane.
Really valuable timing.
Oh, he wants the kill. Good stopwatch, has flash. Almost gets a kill, actually wants it. Oh, Shady, what an ulti. Interrupts and the Ignite's actually enough. Evolve still gets the kill. But not really many other options. Oh, Tomo, that's just dirty. Vexo gonna get the shutdown kill. Mountain got so much gold all of a sudden.
That's like 2,000 gold that they just gave between the carries, and with Baron in 30 seconds, this is a great trade for Mountain, because Ocean cannot secure the best vision around Baron now that their 2 carries are down.
All right, well, a bit of a misstep there for the 2 carries here on the Ocean side, but Punish looks like it won't really come through, as respawns will happen just about when the Baron is spawning, so Ocean can at least look to go back and set up this vision.
Ezreal was so fed that he gave up a 1,000 gold bounty and still has a 450 gold bounty.
10, 2, and 4 there for Tomo. Looking real nice on this Ezreal. Shady gonna check, but he's alone right now. Good ward over the wall though, does not get himself killed by Chime. That vision is just going to be slapped down by the Olaf. And insta onto Baron. No messing around here for Ocean.
They will easily secure this one, so we get to see them break off into the same formation that they had before, just 1-3-1.
Yeah, not much to really answer there for Mountain, so Ocean commit 1 TP from their AD. And there's Evolved looking to get the minion wave in nice and early here for mid. Did not get an inhibitor last time they had Baron. That's definitely going to have to change here for Ocean.
So there is no flash on the Ezreal, and you got the Jarvan Rumble combo. What I want to see from Mountain here is coordinate their abilities to engage on Tomo. He's a valuable target. If you can force his arcane shift with a Jarvan flash, get a Cataclysm later, or just go on anybody here.
On the BMD,
get a good fight.
they go, but he is going to flash away. Chime defensively ultis though. But Evolved and Tomo able to knock down the mid inhib very quickly. They don't have the bot wave either, so Ocean are pretty committed to just sticking around here. Cutting off the top wave and looking for a pretty simple assault.
Ezreal's hitting the Nexus turret in that time.
Fnatic again. Tomo walks back towards his team. Onto the tanks goes Fnatic once more. That's a kill onto Shady, who just can't live through this damage. And another inhibitor tower will fall. Inhibitor top will go as well. Ocean is going to stick around and try and end the game. Toma gets knocked up, uses the arcade shift very disrespectfully, and will pay the price. Evolve though back in onto Vex, pops that Phantom Dancer, and still gets the chain back on a Fnatic. Just Ocean looking to hammer through this victory. Using their gold advantage, just wants the game to end right now.
Only LeBlanc is ranged though, so this is a dangerous time to end.
No, not into stasis. That's PCL who does get the kill onto the Nautilus. Evolved low, but doesn't die to Syndra. Actually gets the pick off on the Vex at the end of it, but they leave one behind. It's BMD, forced into his own devices, does die. As Julian able to get that next kill. Ocean really brute forced that. It didn't work out this time.
So many shutdowns going over to the side of Mountain, and they still have more to claim, but the closing is getting a little bit messy, but they're still getting those objectives. Double inhibitors should be a death sentence for Mountain at this stage.
You have to think there's not too much more they need. They've got a couple Barons left here. Both Evolve and Frosty Nomad still have theirs, so they can walk bot in the next minute. Try and get it all done here as Evolve. He's going to get the gold here off the Rift Scuttler. And Ocean, one obvious point left to attack.
And let's see how Tomo plays. Yeah, this is it. You're shifting into the face to Jarvan, and he has Flash.
Well, easy punish there for Mountain. Evolve still, though, making it work. Really wanted this kill on Lucian.
So Lucian actually ends up flashing forward at the end of all of this, looking for a play, and just gets taken down by a cannon minion auto, which I think made a big difference here because he has been the one receiving all the shutdown gold. And take a look at how he goes down.
Again, time getting low. PCL picking that up. Boom. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Good catch, Crumbs. That's some very aggressive baroned up cannons. BMD fights up, but does not live. But back to life here is Evolve pushing the wave in towards the Nexus, and the rest of Ocean onto this final inhibitor turret. Ooh, Evolve so sneaky. Just poking at this point. Ooh, getting a little bit low. Cataclysm. Passive procs. Evolve dipping back out. Gonna get the kill here. Does finally get it. Again, the rest of Ocean dives in, and this looks to be the end of Mountain's Nexus here in game number 2. A double kill for Evolve to finish it all off. 2 left now for Mountain as PCL goes golden to only get himself killed. That's gonna be 4. Are they gonna die for the Penta? I think they want to, but I think they know that ending the game is maybe a little bit better. As the last one will hang out in Fountain. In fact, he couldn't even get it because they're already dead. And Ocean tied the series up at 1-1.
That is actually such a promising set of games so far because the team that gets ahead has kept the lead and snowballed it successfully to a victory. So really impressive compared to the first games we saw when these players just got here where the team that got a lead was coin flipped if they won. Now it really feels like they're understanding how to get a lead and hold on to it until the game is over.
Felt like Ocean really understood what their champions did, right? It's not the scaling comp they had in the last game where they can lean on the Kai'Sa, the Gangplank, and that kind of thing. Oh, they didn't have those. Anyway, like they can't lean on those picks, right? They're playing more aggressive. They played to have a better early game. They got a better early game and then executed with those picks, which is kind of what you're getting at.
And I think they got lucky because Julius died that solo lane. That laning phase should not have gone that way. It should not have given a kill to the LeBlanc. And I want to see how that matchup would play out, or the entire match would have played out if mid lane was even.
He's right to the case. LeBlanc seemingly looked better, but for a deep dive on that game, let's hand it off to the analysts.
Thank you very much. And let's talk about this one. We called our shot in this game, and it wanted to look at Team Ocean's top laner, BMD, on the Riven. I was hyped to see the matchup.
Yeah, before we obviously Cat Evolved had a great game, so we should acknowledge that. But we picked, we talked about him a little bit last game, so we're focusing more on the top lane. And BMD, they had a lot of skirmishes around the top side that he was able to help turn, as well as the game went on. A lot of the action was focused in the mid and bot lane in the first 10 to 15 minutes. But then he started doing a really good job picking up a number of kills on Riven.
Yeah, and also BMD shows he's not just a direct one-shot, he can also play Riven. Just look the fights here. He can find out the angle in the behind on the pinks and just being patient, waiting the front line goes out first, and then waiting on the back line, and then jump on the back line, use the Riven, and just get a double kill there. He's very smart.
Yeah, basically, the first one is a solo kill. Second one he sets up, Ezreal single Q, turns it over, gets in for the third. Right, was animation canceling his R every time, like getting good knockups, and nearly deathless.
Yep.
And this was just a little Baron bait that they were able to do, and he gets another kill onto the Jarvan, make things easier in the future. I think overall, I liked what I saw a lot out of him. It was a Bit of a weird game for the enemy team. They had Jarvan rumble into 3 mobile laners, so they had some really good team fights for the side of the Ocean Drake team, and he had a great game kind of punishing that.
BMD also has some very good game sense, I would say. If you saw the bottom fight, because bottom was fighting a lot this game. Both sides has a little bit misplay. But when they fight on the bottom side, BMD always will TP the first. He's TP the first guy to TP in and trying to save his team on the bottom side. Because those sort of things, it's hard to communicate as a team because you don't know when the bottom start fighting. But then when start actually fighting, it's BMD look at the map on the bottom side. And some top laners don't really have those sense to be like, oh, recognize my bottom is fighting, and then to TP first to make the difference.
Yeah.
Which he actually did.
Yeah, I mean, those were fights where it looked like the bot lane of Team Mountain was gonna crush them, and a couple mistakes by them, and like you're saying, it's good TP to make sure things stayed fine in the bot lane, so Cat Evolve could kind of snowball mid and then start spreading it around.
One of the big contrasts I saw this game actually was mechanical differences in the top laner, right? So we talked about the Riven, and again, every time I saw it, he was always animation canceling R1, animation canceling R2, like had a lot of really good hits here. I saw so many Rumble ults that didn't get cast because he was overheated. Like PCL, I think on the kind of flip side, like missed a lot of the openings that he could have had to either combo with the Jarvan earlier on or after a teleport or anything else, and that was kind of disheartening to see.
Yeah, I think Rumble's probably one of the most difficult top laners to play well. Not just like, mechanically, I don't think Rumble's like super difficult, but from like a team play perspective, like you look so bad on Rumble when like you use an ult when you thought someone would go in and they wouldn't. And I think there were a couple of those kinds of ones that went on, as well as when the team was making plays around him, he overheated in a couple situations where if he had it up, they could have got some kills.
Well, I mean, when you play Rumble against Dearcom, I kind of want to defend that, It's not easy.
End the game at 15.
Every time he has mobility, they can dodge your ulti. Very simple, like the Jarvan only, because it's supposed to be the combo, right? The Jarvan Rumble combo. But when you don't have like a realistic target, it's just hard to use the ulti.
Yeah.
But I do agree that PC probably should be like controlling his passive better on like knowing what should be overheated, what time should be owing, so you can make the play. But I think BMD played better last game for sure.
Yep, better top laner won. I think better overall team won this time around. So Ocean ties up at 1-1. The teams are going to be figuring out who wins it all in a little bit. Well, of course, only one can claim the title. Meet us back here for Game 3 of Mountain versus Ocean.